What's up, fantasy sports fans? Philly D here. How's everybody doing? Today is Tuesday. What an opening week of football, guys. Hope everybody made a little bit of money. Little week 1 recap. I did pretty good. Had about 150 points in the lineup I showed you guys last week, which cashed in the Millionaire Maker, which would have won you all your 50-50s. You double ups, whatever. It was a pretty solid lineup. There wasn't a whole lot of scoring last week. On Sunday, Kansas City, obviously, wow. Kareem Hunt, Alex Smith, who saw that coming? But yeah, other than that, Tom Brady, right, didn't do so hot. Notably, Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson, LaShawn McCoy, Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, AJ Green. 0 touchdowns between them. The Rob Gronkowski, Brandon Cooks, no touchdowns, right? Tom Brady didn't throw any touchdowns. It was a really tough week. So I just want to say, guys, a lot of you guys looked at my lineup and criticized it, and that's okay. But not different weeks, different players, right? It's not always Tom Brady's going to score 30 points. You know what I mean? Le'Veon Bell had 4 fantasy points or something like that. So I didn't touch David Johnson. I didn't touch Le'Veon Bell. I didn't touch Antonio Brown and Julio Jones. That served me pretty good. I went with the Deshaun Kaiser and Corey Coleman stack. Deshaun Kaiser scored 20 fantasy points. Corey Coleman did the same. So that was a great stack. I know a lot of you stuck your nose up at that one. Theo Riddick. A lot of you wanted me said Abdullah was the pick there. Abdullah did nothing, and Riddick got a touchdown. So congratulations to that. LaShawn McCoy is the chalk play I went with. He did okay. 24 fantasy points, I believe. So among the top running backs, he was the go-to pick, unless you went with Zeke, obviously. But I think LaShawn McCoy still outscored him. What else? My letdowns. AJ Green, obviously. I picked AJ Green. He let me down. And Zach Miller didn't get as many points as I wanted. And Doug Baldwin didn't play so good. Jordy Nelson, though, had a great game, so that was good. And I picked the Steelers defense. Not the Steelers, the Cardinals defense. They got some points. So the Steelers. I had the Steelers defense as well. I was alternating between the Steelers and the Cardinals. So AJ Green kind of let me down. In my pick, I also made a pick'em lineup. I had Andy Dalton, and that was horrible. So I didn't cash in that, but I only played 1 entry into that. It's a new format, so I wasn't going to invest too much into it. But all in all, yeah, I had a very good week. I want to thank all my subscribers, all the people with the nice comments, and like I said, anybody, with the comments, you think I'm making mistakes. I appreciate you. I appreciate your input. Please keep it up, because I like to think twice about my picks. When somebody's like, "Oh, you're making a mistake," I thought about the Theo Riddick and Abdullah debate, and I was just like, no, Theo Riddick's a fantasy stud, and Stafford loves looking for Riddick. So yeah, and I knew Kaiser and Coleman was good, so I didn't even worry about that. Anyways, so we're week 2. Here's the lineup for this week, the Millionaire Maker lineup for this week. Alright, guys, see what we got going on. A little bit different strategy this week. We're going with the expensive. I'm paying up at quarterback, picking up Derek Carr against the Jets. Tyrod Taylor and LaShawn McCoy abused the Jets. They didn't look as bad, but I think the Jets are indeed the worst team this year, and I think Derek Carr gets it going. We saw Marshawn Lynch have some great moments in that game, but I think they're gonna try to throw the ball more. They're trying to get Cooper involved. Crabtree, you know, he's solid. Tennessee isn't that shabby on defense. You know, they have a young defensive back squad, but they're a lot better than the Jets. I think the Jets are going to be the worst team. If they win 3 games, I'll be surprised. And they had it, you know, Buffalo's like one of the teams they play well against, so maybe they could beat the Patriots or something. Anyways, Derek Carr, quarterback, 7,200. We'll see. Again, the Millionaire Maker, guys, we want to get 250 to 300 points. Last week, although I only had 150 points, but still cashed. That's because the winner didn't have very much either. But like, it wasn't a high scoring week, so we'll see. We'll get those scores back up this week. And yeah, we're starting out off with Derek Carr against the Jets. I want to see 4 touchdowns, 300 yards. All right. Running back, we're going with Williams from Arizona. David Johnson is out. Arizona looks horrible. Carson Palmer is one of my least favorite quarterbacks. How do I put this gently? If it wasn't for Chad Johnson, Carson Palmer would have never made a lot of money. Alright? And now he has Larry Fitzgerald making him look good. But he's just not a very good quarterback. He's been throwing, like, they were playing Detroit. Arizona is red, Detroit is blue, and I think Carson Palmer did not know that because he seemed to be throwing to the blue team a lot more than the red team. David Johnson injured. I feel so sorry for everybody that drafted him in season long. If you use your first pick, you got David Johnson, or you got him at the 2nd pick or the 3rd pick or 4th pick, right? And you just licking your chops. He's down, might need surgery, out for 2 to 3 months. So we don't exactly know. Maybe they'll play him, but he's hurt, guys. And this Williams kid, he's pretty good. I saw him in preseason, busting off some big runs. They have to run the ball, like I said. Carson Palmer cannot carry a team on his back. He had that one good year it seems like forever ago, because they ended that year getting stomped by Carolina. It was Carolina in the NFC Championship game. They're playing Indianapolis. Indianapolis, another team, can't stop anything. Defense is horrible. Andrew Luck is not going to be back for a while. Again, sorry for everybody that took a chance on Andrew Luck. Doesn't look like he'll be back anytime soon. Arizona's one shot is the run game. And I actually picked the Rams. Did you see Todd Gurley looked pretty darn good again? So I'm picking Williams as a little. I don't think he'll be highly owned. So that's always great. The prices, they're pricing him a little bit accordingly, 4,800. But I'm telling you, this kid is not. He's no sleeper, and they're going to miss David Johnson, of course. But they got a nice little replacement here, Williams. Next running back, I'm going with Kareem Hunt. Obviously, it's a little bit of chasing the fantasy points. Last week just exploded against New England. An interesting play might be to pick one of the New Orleans backs against New England, but which one are you going to pick? They didn't play Adrian Peterson much last night, and he looked pretty decent. Mark Ingram didn't explode last night. New England was abused by Kareem Hunt and company last week, so that's why I'm thinking that might be a play. But this week, I think Kareem Hunt's going to be pretty highly owned, and I don't want to be not cashing because I didn't pick Kareem Hunt. So he could be like 40% owned in the Millionaire Maker, which is just nuts. But I think a lot of people will do that. We got an okay matchup against Philly. I don't necessarily like it. The price, $6,200, not super high, right? Another contrarian play is to go with Ezekiel Elliott against Denver. Denver, great defense, but Melvin Gordon kind of had his way a little bit against Denver, and Melvin Gordon is not very good. the San Diego's offensive line is also not very good. So consider Ezekiel Elliott in this spot. I'm tossing up, but for right now I got Kareem Hunt in there at 6,800. I just think Kansas City is going to use him. Kansas City looks hot right now against the Patriots anyways. Are the Patriots defense that weak? Maybe. Not sure. In which case, maybe, like I said, maybe you want to load up on Saints because it's the Patriots against the Saints. But anyways, like I said, Philly looked hot too. So, and I like the Philadelphia defense, especially up front. So we'll see. I'm not sure about this play, but like I said, I don't want to be the person that doesn't pick Kareem Hunt. and the millionaire maker this week probably had Kareem Hunt in it, and if it has it next week and I didn't have Kareem Hunt, I'm gonna be feeling pretty silly. Next we're going receivers. We're gonna take Mike Evans, Tampa Bay against Chicago. I would have picked Mike Evans last week. Mike Evans, target machine. But Philly, what about Deshaun Jackson? Love Deshaun Jackson. Yes, one of the most talented receivers in the game. Almost impossible to cover Deshaun Jackson. Mike Evans and Winston, Jameis Winston have been together 3 years. Winston goes Evans' way at least 10 times a game. All right, the targets are going to be there for Evans. I don't care. Deshaun Jackson might get 5 or 6 targets. I don't think it's going to affect Evans much. The coaching staff, have you guys been watching Hard Knocks? They're not overly pumped on Jameis Winston. Mike Evans is kind of the team captain. If you watch behind the scenes, the coach is not. They don't want to go deep that much. So I don't know. I don't know Deshaun Jackson's role. Against zone defense, I think he'll be great if they get him the ball. Chicago's defense, Julio Jones, #1 receiver, he had a decent game. They held their own with Atlanta. They were pretty good. Tampa Bay, I think they're going to run the ball a lot, and I think they're going to get it to Mike Evans, a lot. So I'm going Mike Evans, 7,700. He's less than they dropped the price on him, and the matchup's better. So I like this matchup a lot. I'd like to see him get at least 1 touchdown. He'll get, like I said, he'll get at least 10 targets, so give him 7-8 catches, because he'll probably get 15 targets, a touchdown, and then give him about 130 yards, right? Which reminds me, the running backs, right? Williams. We'll start with Williams. I think he can get 100 yards and a touchdown. All right, I think. And they might throw it to him a little bit. They're going to try and replace David Johnson with this cat. So I like 20 to 25 fantasy points out of him. Kareem Hunt, he'll get at least 1 touchdown. They're going to give him the ball a ton. So I could see him getting 5 receptions, close to 100 yards rushing again. He'll get 100 yards from scrimmage for sure. So I'm hoping somewhere between 25 and 30 fantasy points for him. Obviously, with his price, I want him in the 30s. To get that 5x, 6x return, you need him close to 40 fantasy points. So last week he did it, and I think this week there's a chance. So we'll see. All right, next receiver, Randall Cobb, Green Bay Packers. First of all, the price is $6,000, so that's pretty high for him. So that's a little bit of a risky play. They're playing Atlanta. Atlanta's got the pretty decent cornerbacks, obviously. So Jordy Nelson had a darn good game against Seattle, against some okay cornerbacks. But early in the game, you saw him looking for Randall Cobb, and then they kind of let off Jordy Nelson. So I expect them to do that again this game. So Randall Cobb, he's gonna get six to nine catches, close to 100 yards, hopefully a touchdown, right? Give you about 25 fantasy points, and we need 30. So Randall Cobb should be good. Like if they lock down Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams had a couple nice plays, but Randall Cobb is looking good this year. He's been quiet the last couple of years. I've always had Randall Cobb, in my late round drafts, and he's kind of been okay. But we've seen the talent. I remember a couple of years ago, I had Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb on my fantasy team. I started them like every week, and it was like first quarter, and they both had 100 yards like every game. So if they can figure that out again, they're going to be in good shape. And considering their running games are very questionable with Montgomery and Williams, they just don't know what it is yet, right? They got receivers playing a receiver playing running back. So I like Randall Cobb in this game a lot. All right. Next receiver, Danny Amendola for New England. New Orleans does not look good on defense. That's number one. Number two, Tom Brady is PO'd. Okay. Tom Brady losing 2 games in a row? I don't think so. Danny Amendola looks like the Julian Edelman replacement. He's playing the slot. That's Edelman's spot. They tossed the ball to him a lot. Kansas City, you got to tip your hats to them. They played a good game. And also, that game was decided mostly by New England. New England had a touchdown called back. New England had after the second time they were stopped on 4th down, 4th and 1, that game was over. And it wasn't New England that lost it for themselves. Like Kansas City played a heck of a game defensively. After the touchdown got called back, after they stopped him on 4th down, and the game was over, in my opinion. So I don't think they're going to be running it on 4th down. And I think they come out swinging. New Orleans, great offense, horrible defense. That hasn't changed. The offensive line doesn't look overly great either. But Danny Amendola, if he caught a lot of balls that Tom Brady was throwing to him, and he's that guy. He plays the position. He plays the Wes Welker position. He plays the Edelman position. Look for Tom Brady and Danny Amendola to get tight quick, right? They got Cooks, yes, they got Hogan, but those guys are undersized. New England, their receivers are undersized. It's not, they'll find a way, right? And they didn't get Gronk too involved either. That was kind of disappointing. Tom Brady wasn't really on his game, but I'm thinking he'll get on track. Danny Amendola gonna get about 8 to 10 catches, 100 yards, 80 to 100 yards and a touchdown. So give him about 30 fantasy points easy. Tight end. We're going with Jason Witten, all right, against Denver. I was watching the game last night. Denver played an incredible game. Simeon, I want to pick Simeon, but Simeon had a heck of a game. But Dallas's defense did not look too bad at all last night. They were pumped. They're all over the Giants. Yes, the Odell Beckham-less Giants, but they look pretty good. Now they do have Demaryius Thomas to deal with. Simeon, it looks like he just loves Demaryius Thomas, and why wouldn't you? The guy's a beast. But Denver did not look so hot against the run. That's why I like Zeke. But Jason Witten, like if they're gonna rush Dak Prescott all day, every day, Jason Witten's gonna be standing there open. He's I don't know how old Jason Witten is. I don't know how fast Jason Witten is. Both of those numbers probably aren't very appealing, but the man is open. All right, he's always open. He darn near never drops the ball, and Dak Prescott obviously loves him. They tried getting Dez Bryant involved. Dez Bryant did not have a very good game. 2 catches. He had like 11 targets. Could not hold on to the football. He will get it together. You know, after he got a touchdown called back, was kind of not fun for him. But Jason Witten is Mr. Reliable, and a quarterback's going to throw to the guy that can catch the ball. All right, so Jason Witten. Price is a little bit steep, I believe. Well, not really. 3,400, right? Needs like 18 fantasy points. Jason Witten gonna get that and then some. He gets a touchdown, that'd really help. You know, give him 6 catches, 72 yards and a touchdown. There you go. In the flex, I went with Howard, Jordan Howard for Chicago. This play is a toss-up for me. At 5,900, your options are kind of open. So like I said, if I'm going to tinker with this lineup, it's going to be Kareem Hunt and Jordan Howard. I love Howard. He had a decent game against Atlanta. $6,000, right? He needs a ton of fantasy points, but the Bears don't have anybody. Like, they played decent against Atlanta. Hoyer played amazing. Tampa Bay's a darn good defense, though. So we'll see. Maybe they're a little bit rusty. I'm not sure. Howard had some speed. Howard, you know, they were shuffling around that lineup. I'm going to go back to flex over here. You're at 5,900. Like, I don't necessarily love this Howard play. So yeah, 5,900. We got Dalvin Cook. That might be a decent play, but against Pittsburgh, right? Here's one I do like too. If you hate the Cowboys, Demaryius Thomas. The thing is, I love that play. The problem is I'm not sure about the Dallas defense. Like, they're rookies. You know, we thought they'd be like horrible, but they just might be decent. And then you got Keenan Allen, right, against Miami. So that might be a play. So yeah, for me, in that price range, I went for Jordan Howard. I'm not sure about it though, but that's just where I went from now. I might change that to, like I said, to somebody else. I like Keenan Allen. We'll see. He didn't get hurt, so that's encouraging. Jordan Howard could get two touchdowns in this game though. Like, there is a ton of upside for Howard, and that's what I like. It seemed like he had in your flex. In my flex, I like to have the guy with the most upside. I don't see Demaryius Thomas getting 2 touchdowns, right? Keenan Allen, maybe against Miami. There's a darn good chance. Like, Philip Rivers needs to start throwing the ball to his own team though. No, like, they're gonna go from Denver to Miami. So, and Miami has a deadly pass rush when they want to. So, look out for that game. I don't necessarily trust the Chargers. So, Jordan Howard it is. Finishing off with the defense, I'm going with the Jags. The Jags just destroyed the Texans. What do you say about that game? 10 sacks, first of all. They injured 3 tight ends, a quarterback. They dominated that game. Last year, Jacksonville drafted, they had a stacked defense, right? Malik Jackson, Miles Jack. The team is just wow. Alright. The defense looked incredible. Well, Houston sucks. They do suck, but they're missing one lineman. Like, they're not that bad. And Jacksonville looks a lot better than I expected, to be honest with you. I did have Jacksonville winning that game, but I didn't think it was going to be that bad for Savage. I thought Savage would manage to get a little something going, and he just couldn't. Jacksonville is just all over it. I want to see if they can do it again. They're playing Tennessee. Tennessee, same division as Houston, right? another division game, gonna be tough. Mariota is obviously much more skilled, much more mobile than Tom Savage, right? He might, you know, Deshaun Watson, right, looked decent against Jacksonville in that game. And Mariota, you could say like he's a little bit more like a Deshaun Watson because he's mobile, right? But Jacksonville will be game planning for that now, and they got it locked on the back end. We'll see, right? Tennessee couldn't handle Oakland, and I think Jacksonville's going to surprise a lot of people this year. Of course, the downfall with Jacksonville is the quarterback, right? So this play is very risky, but I mean, if any defense is going to get you 20 points, it's going to be Jacksonville. 10 sacks, guys. I don't care like how bad Houston was. Like, they got their confidence is on their swag button. You know, their swag's at like 250. Okay, Jacksonville's coming home. They're going to be like just rolling on all cylinders. I do like Tennessee a lot. I love Mariota. I love DeMarco Murray, Decker, Matthews, Delaney Walker. Like, the offense is loaded, but I think this is a little surprise play. And after last week, I saw the tape. All right, we'll see Jacksonville get it going. All right. So thanks, guys. That is the Millionaire Maker lineup for this week. Hopefully we can do a little bit better. Like I said last week, we cashed out with our lineup, which is great. See if we could get a little bit higher this week. You know, I want to document like $1 million lineup on YouTube. That'd be insane. But I've never won $1 million on it before. But I have. I've come moderately close. I've been in the top 1,000 a few times in the Millionaire Maker. So that's my lineup for this week, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Please leave comments, guys. I love the feedback I'm getting. You know, what do you guys think about Kareem Hunt this week? Do you think Kareem Hunt or Zeke, guys? Leave me a comment. Jordan Howard, what do you think of that one? Right? Subscribe to the video. Check me out on Facebook, Philly D Fantasy Sports. Posting updates, injuries. Again, guys, pay attention to your injuries. You know, Odell Beckham Jr. probably not playing next week. David Johnson probably not playing next week. Andrew Luck probably not playing next week, right? So keep in mind those. Also, check me out on CryptoFantasySports.com. Kind of a soft site. The salary cap was pretty high, so you could build a dream team, but it ended up working against you because, like I said, I in that site I did have a team. I had Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson on the same team, and they didn't get me 10 points between the two of them. So, but I still cashed out a lot. So, pretty cool site. Check it out. I got the links below for DraftKings and CryptoFantasySports.com. Use my link, sign up, get 25% deposit bonus. Alright, guys. Good luck. We'll see you later in the week. Take it easy.